What if I told you that while the world sleeps, your life could change forever? That in just 12 hours, while you rest peacefully, the universe could align every circumstance, every vibration, and every opportunity to deliver wealth straight into your hands. This isn't fantasy. It's the law of life at work. Stay with me until the very end of this message, because what you're about to hear could be the key to winning your own lottery of life. Every dream begins in the invisible realm before it takes form in the visible. This is a truth many overlook because the eyes long to see instant results, but the invisible is always the birthplace of the visible. The bedrock of every miracle, every manifestation, every sudden fortune, is laid in the unseen before it takes shape in the seen. As you lie down at night, your conscious mind prepares for rest, but your subconscious mind awakens into its greatest state of activity. It is then that every word you have spoken, every belief you have cherished, and every image you have entertained begins to plant itself deeply into the soil of the subconscious, ready to bear fruit in the perfect way. You see, most people spend their waking hours wishing for wealth, hoping for luck, or yearning for a change. But when they close their eyes, they fill their subconscious with fears, doubts, and limiting patterns. They allow the last thought of the day to be one of lack, one of worry, one of frustration, and then they wonder why their lives repeat the same cycles of struggle day after day. The truth is simple. Whatever seed you plant before your sleep is magnified 1,000-fold while you rest. Your dreams are the stage upon which your desires rehearse their performance. Your subconscious, untouched by distractions, untouched by conscious reasoning, becomes the most fertile field for manifestation. Think of a farmer who plants seeds at dusk. He does not rise every hour to dig them up and see if they are sprouting. No, he trusts that the soil is working, that nature is at work, and that the harvest is assured. So it is with the words and images you send into your subconscious before sleep. They are planted in the fertile field of the unseen, and as you rest, the law of life begins its operation, arranging circumstances, moving people, opening doors, and weaving together threads that your conscious mind could never orchestrate. This is why it is said that faith is the evidence of things not seen. Faith dares to rest while the unseen world is busy bringing forth what is spoken and believed. Now consider what happens when you go to bed rehearsing your failures, replaying arguments, or entertaining thoughts of fear and insufficiency. Those become your seeds. The subconscious, impartial and obedient, does not choose between what is good or bad. It simply magnifies whatever you impress upon it. If the last word you speak is one of worry, the subconscious magnifies worry. If it is one of faith, the subconscious magnifies faith. This is why so many live in cycles of limitation. They allow the night, the most powerful workshop of the soul, to be filled with thoughts that bind rather than thoughts that free. But the good news is this: you hold the key to change this pattern instantly. With the simple discipline of speaking abundance, gratitude, and expectation before your eyes close, you take control of the soil where miracles grow. Let us go deeper. The conscious mind throughout the day is bombarded with images, sounds, and distractions. It reasons, it analyzes, it argues, it fears, it hopes. It is a noisy marketplace. But at night, as you drift into sleep, that noise grows silent, and the subconscious stands wide open, ready to receive instruction. This is why affirmations, prayers, and declarations spoken just before sleep hold extraordinary power. They bypass resistance and sink directly into the subconscious where they are multiplied. You may say, "But I spoke abundance before and nothing happened." Ah, but remember, one seed in rocky soil will not sprout if it is uprooted with doubt in the morning. You must allow it to rest, to take root, to be nurtured by faith. The subconscious is the womb of creation. It cannot be hurried, but it never fails. Think of those moments when you awoke with a solution you could not find the night before. Perhaps you wrestled with a problem during the day, but upon rising, the answer came effortlessly. This is no accident. It is the subconscious working tirelessly while you slept, arranging ideas, bringing clarity, providing direction. If it can deliver wisdom in the night, can it not also deliver wealth, opportunity, and miraculous provision? The principle is the same. What you impress upon it, it expresses. If you fill it with certainty of success, you awaken to paths that lead directly to success. If you fill it with expectation of sudden fortune, you rise with the opportunities that create that fortune. The invisible realm is not bound by the clocks of men. What takes years in human planning can take hours in divine arrangement. The subconscious does not tire, it does not delay, it does not question. It simply creates. That is why it is possible for things to shift in as little as 12 hours. During your rest, while you appear inactive, an unseen activity is taking place. People are being moved into place, circumstances are shifting, doors are being unlocked, and what seemed impossible in the daylight begins to move toward you in the night. When you rise, you may not see the full harvest immediately, but the seed has been planted, and the process is already complete in the unseen. The visible manifestation is only a matter of time, and time bends swiftly for those who hold unwavering faith. Now imagine this: you end your night by declaring, "Wealth comes to me now. Abundance surrounds me. Miraculous opportunities find me in my sleep." As those words leave your lips, they are etched into the subconscious, and while you rest, the law of life begins arranging a scene to match your declaration. Perhaps a forgotten debt is repaid, perhaps a business idea finds its investor, perhaps an email arrives with news of unexpected money, perhaps a stranger connects you to an opportunity. The how is never your concern, the how is the work of the law. Your only task is to impress the image, to speak the word, and to release it with trust. You may wonder, but how can I be sure it works? Look at your life now. It is already the harvest of seeds once planted. If you have lived with lack, it is because lack was sown. If you have lived with abundance, it is because abundance was sown. You are already proving the law, whether consciously or unconsciously. The power is not in question. The only question is, will you use it deliberately? Will you choose tonight to plant seeds of wealth instead of seeds of worry? Will you allow your last words before sleep to be words of victory rather than words of defeat? The soil will not refuse your seed. It will magnify whatever you place in it. So as you prepare for rest, remember that you are entering the greatest creative workshop of all. Every thought, every declaration, every image is shaping your tomorrow while you sleep. Do not let the night pass wasted with idle fears and restless worry. Harness it, direct it, speak into it. For the unseen is more powerful than the seen, and your subconscious is the channel through which the unseen becomes seen. When you rest with words of faith, you awaken to proofs of faith. When you rest with words of abundance, you awaken to signs of abundance. The night becomes your ally, the unseen your servant, and the law of life your guarantee. The lottery of life is not limited to tickets and numbers. It is about aligning with unexpected blessings, divine surprises, and miraculous turns of fortune. Many believe wealth arrives only through hard work, grinding effort, and endless labor, but life often shows us otherwise. Someone suddenly receives an inheritance they never expected. Another person stumbles into an opportunity that changes everything, while another is at the right place at the right time to meet someone who opens doors beyond imagination. These are not accidents, but divine orchestrations. Life is constantly drawing numbers, not with machines or balls in a lottery drum, but through vibrations, through words, through consciousness. And those who align with abundance, who live in the expectation of good, are the ones whose numbers are called again and again. You may wonder, can it be that simple? Can I truly win while I sleep? Yes, because winning is not about chasing but about allowing. You win when you align with the law, when you speak words of power, when you hold images of certainty in your mind. You win when you cease resisting, cease doubting, and cease expecting failure. The universe is not withholding your prize, it is waiting for your vibration to match what you seek. Every word you declare, every image you embrace, every feeling you sustain writes the winning number on the ticket of your life. When you say before sleep, "My good now comes to me in avalanches of abundance, under grace, in miraculous ways," you are not begging, you are instructing the law. You are writing your number upon the fabric of existence, and that number must be drawn, for the law cannot deny a clear command spoken with faith. Consider for a moment the nature of a true lottery. Millions of people participate, but only a few win because only a few numbers are drawn. In the spiritual lottery of life, the law is unlimited, the prizes are infinite, and the draw is continuous. There is no shortage of supply, no limited pot of winnings, no restricted list of names. The only reason one person experiences abundance, and another does not, is that one has chosen the winning vibration while the other has clung to the losing one. You cannot receive what you do not align with. If you vibrate lack, you receive lack. If you vibrate wealth, you receive wealth. The law is exact, impartial, and unfailing. Think of vibration as your spiritual lottery ticket. The way you feel, the way you speak, the way you think before sleep stamps your ticket with a number. The question is not whether your number will be called. The question is whether you stamped it with faith or with fear. If your number is written in fear, the law delivers experiences that match fear, delays, disappointments, closed doors. If your number is written in faith, the law delivers experiences that match faith, breakthroughs, open doors, sudden windfalls. The subconscious mind does not interpret, it simply obeys. Speak abundance, it delivers abundance. Speak doubt, it delivers doubt. Now let us examine why sleep is such a powerful time to stamp your ticket. During the day, the conscious mind interferes. It doubts, it analyzes, it resists. It says, that's impossible, that's unlikely, that's too good to be true. But at night, as you drift into sleep, the conscious mind relaxes, and the subconscious opens like a fertile field. In that moment, every word you speak and every image you hold enters directly into the soil of your subconscious, where it is magnified and made real. This is why you must guard the last thoughts of your day with great vigilance. They are the ink that writes the winning number upon your life. If you go to bed with worries about bills, you awaken to more bills. If you go to bed declaring unexpected blessings, you awaken to circumstances that bring them forth. The draw always matches the ticket. Imagine two people lying down to sleep. One says, "Nothing ever works out for me. I never have enough. Life is unfair." The other says, "Wealth flows to me effortlessly. Divine supply surrounds me. My good arrives now in miraculous ways." Both fall asleep, both send commands to their subconscious, both write numbers upon the unseen lottery ticket of life. The first awakens to delays, struggles, and lack because that is the vibration he stamped upon his night. The second awakens to opportunities, favor, and increase because that is the vibration she chose to stamp. Neither is a victim of chance, both are creators through choice. You may think of words as casual, but words are numbers in the universal lottery. Each word carries a vibration, and that vibration attracts like unto itself. Words of abundance attract abundance, words of fear attract fear, words of certainty attract certainty. This is why affirmations, prayers, and declarations before sleep are not idle rituals. They are the act of filling your ticket with the winning numbers, and unlike a man-made lottery, here you can choose your numbers deliberately. You do not need luck, you need alignment. Some may ask, but if I declare abundance, why does it not appear instantly? The answer lies in understanding timing. The law works with precision, but it also works with divine order. Sometimes the conditions must be arranged, sometimes people must be moved into place, sometimes doors must be prepared. Yet once the seed is planted, once the number is stamped, it must manifest. The farmer does not despair because the seed does not sprout the next morning. He knows the law of growth is sure. So it is with your word. It is impossible for a word of faith to return void. It may not appear in the form you expect, but it will appear in the form that is best, swiftest, and most miraculous. Now let us imagine the process of winning while you sleep in more detail. Before closing your eyes, you quiet your mind, release all worry, and center yourself in the certainty of good. You speak aloud. My good now comes to me in avalanches of abundance, under grace, in miraculous ways. You feel the truth of those words, you let gratitude rise in your heart, and you see yourself receiving, smiling, rejoicing. You imagine waking to messages of unexpected income, doors opening, opportunities arriving. You drift into sleep with that image in your mind. As you sleep, your subconscious magnifies the vibration of that declaration, and the law of life begins arranging the necessary steps. Somewhere, someone makes a decision that will benefit you. Somewhere, a path is cleared. Somewhere, a delay is lifted. And in your waking hours, you are guided toward the manifestation prepared during your rest. The lottery of life is always drawn in your favor when you align with faith. This is not a game of chance, it is a science of consciousness. Every night you hold the pen to write your winning numbers. Every night you are given a blank ticket to stamp with faith or with fear. Every night you can declare wealth, joy, and favor, or you can declare lack, worry, and struggle. The choice is yours. But once the choice is made, the law must respond. The law is no respecter of persons, it only respects vibration. Align with abundance, and abundance aligns with you. You are never excluded from the draw. The universe does not overlook you, nor does it reserve blessings only for the few. It waits, patiently and powerfully, for your alignment. It waits for you to declare, to believe, to release. And when you do, the draw is instantaneous. You may not see the result immediately with your physical eyes, but in the unseen it is already complete. The moment you impress the subconscious with faith, the moment you stamp your ticket with abundance, the prize is yours. The manifestation is only a matter of unfolding, and unfold it must, for the law never fails, and the winning number is already yours when you dare to claim it. In just 12 hours, great transformations can occur. Life does not always need years, months, or even weeks to change. Sometimes the entire course of a destiny shifts in a single night, in the span of hours while the body rests and the soul communes with the unseen. The night holds a power most people ignore, for they think sleep is merely for the body to recover. But the truth is, sleep is when the spirit works most freely. It is when the conscious mind, with all its resistance and questioning, finally steps aside, and the subconscious takes full control, weaving together the images, beliefs, and words that were planted throughout the day. This is why the night is sacred, because what you plant before you close your eyes grows swiftly and silently while you are unaware. You may awaken to what feels like a sudden miracle, but in truth, it was the inevitable harvest of the seed you sowed before rest. Imagine a person who goes to bed after a long day filled with frustration, saying to themselves, "Nothing ever changes for me, I am stuck and tomorrow will be the same." They may drift into unconscious sleep, but their subconscious receives that statement as law, and through the night it begins to organize the next day to look exactly like what was spoken. Doors remain closed, people overlook them, opportunities slip past unseen, because the subconscious has been instructed to repeat what was affirmed. But imagine another person who, before lying down, declares, "This night is my turning point. I now step into a flow of divine favor. In the morning, I awaken to new opportunities, new abundance, and miraculous breakthroughs." That statement, spoken with faith, plants a seed in the subconscious, and during the night the law of life moves quietly, arranging the right circumstances, preparing the right encounters, and shifting what seemed immovable. By morning, an email arrives, a phone call is made, a new idea dawns, or an open door appears where once there was only a wall. To the outer eyes it looks like coincidence, but in truth it is creation. The number 12 itself holds a mystery of completion, order, and divine timing. 12 hours can represent the closing of one cycle and the birth of another. In 12 hours the earth turns from darkness to dawn, from weariness to renewal. So it is with your own life. A shift of consciousness before sleep can bring about a dawn that looks entirely different from the dusk before it. Do not underestimate what can happen in the span of one night. A debt can be erased, an opportunity can open, a connection can be made, and the path you thought blocked can suddenly clear. The key is not in the hours themselves, but in the quality of the seed you plant before those hours unfold. The subconscious does not measure time as the conscious mind does. To the subconscious, a single image, impressed with deep feeling, carries the weight of eternity. That is why one night of focused faith can outweigh years of scattered doubt. When you fall asleep with an image of abundance firmly planted in your heart, it is as though you have written a decree upon the unseen tablet of life, and that decree must be carried out. The subconscious magnifies it, nourishes it, and attracts the corresponding experiences, just as surely as a magnet attracts iron. You may not know how the manifestation will come, but you can be certain that it is already in motion. Consider the story of an inventor who struggled for years to solve a problem, but found no solution while awake. One night, he fell asleep with the question firmly in his mind, and by morning, the answer appeared effortlessly, as though whispered in a dream. What his conscious mind could not achieve in years, his subconscious produced in a single night. The same principle applies to wealth, opportunity, and fortune. The subconscious mind is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, and it knows no limits. It is connected to infinite intelligence, and when you align with that intelligence through faith-filled words and images, you unleash power that works while you rest. You may think of the night as a rehearsal for your tomorrow. Just as an actor rehearses lines before a performance, so you rehearse your reality before sleep. Whatever role you practice at night, the world reflects back to you during the day. If you rehearse poverty, worry, and lack, your performance tomorrow will mirror that. If you rehearse wealth, gratitude, and confidence, your performance tomorrow will mirror that instead. The night amplifies your rehearsal, multiplying the vibration you hold. This is why the simple act of imagining yourself already wealthy, already favored, already victorious before sleep carries extraordinary power. You are not merely daydreaming, you are impressing the subconscious, which in turn instructs the universe to provide circumstances that align with your rehearsal. Now imagine closing your eyes and seeing yourself standing victorious, receiving unexpected wealth, surrounded by opportunities, and filled with gratitude. You feel the joy as though it were already done. You give thanks as though it were already yours, and you drift into sleep with that feeling. In those 12 hours, while you rest, your subconscious begins to attract the ideas, the people, and the conditions that match that image. Someone may think of you unexpectedly and decide to reach out with an offer. A chance meeting may take place the next day. An idea may strike you with such clarity that you know exactly what step to take. You may awaken to a message that shifts everything. The manifestation can take countless forms, but it always reflects the seed planted. The night is not passive, it is profoundly active. While you appear still, the unseen world is moving, aligning, preparing. Think of how a gardener plants seeds in the evening, and by morning, though invisible at first, life has already begun to stir beneath the soil. So it is with your words and images. You may not see the roots spreading, the soil shifting, the first shoots breaking through, but the growth has already begun. By the time you see evidence in the physical, the work has long been underway in the unseen. This is why you must never despair if results are not immediate, for the law is always at work. Your only task is to plant the right seed before sleep and trust the process. Many miss their harvest because they uproot the seed with doubt in the morning. They awaken and say, "Nothing has changed, it must not be working." Yet the seed is still alive, still growing, still pushing toward the surface. Faith requires that you allow the process to unfold without interference. Just as no farmer digs up the ground each morning to check on his seeds, you must resist the urge to cancel your declarations with doubt. Speak your word at night, trust the law, and expect the result. The unseen is far swifter and more intelligent than you can imagine. What seems impossible today can be accomplished overnight, for the subconscious knows the shortcuts that your conscious mind cannot see. There are countless testimonies of those who experienced sudden breakthroughs after a single night of faith. People who declared abundance before bed only to awaken to news of unexpected provision. People who imagined opportunities before sleep only to encounter them by chance the next day. People who went to rest with a heart full of gratitude only to rise to situations that multiplied that gratitude. These are not isolated incidents, they are the law in action. The law responds to faith the way fire responds to a spark. It ignites swiftly without hesitation. The only difference is whether the spark is one of fear or one of faith. So understand this 12 hours is not a limitation, it is an opportunity. In 12 hours, your subconscious can shift your vibration so deeply that the impossible becomes natural. In 12 hours, the unseen can rearrange your circumstances so completely that your life no longer resembles what it was. In 12 hours, you can cross from lack into abundance, from delay into acceleration, from despair into hope. The process begins not with luck, not with chance, but with the seed you plant before sleep. And once that seed is planted with faith, the night multiplies it beyond measure, ensuring that when the morning comes, you are already standing at the threshold of your miracle. Doubt and fear are the only thieves of your winnings. These two shadows creep in silently, whispering that perhaps the promise is too good to be true, that perhaps the universe has overlooked you, that maybe the law of life does not work in your favor. Yet these whispers are illusions, for the law is impartial, exact, and unchanging. It delivers not according to favoritism, but according to faith. The tragedy is that most people cancel their blessings before they arrive by clinging to doubt and entertaining fear. They plant seeds of abundance in the night, but by morning they dig them up with anxious thoughts, saying, "What if nothing happens? What if I was foolish to believe?" And in so doing, they uproot the very harvest that was on its way. The power of creation is not hindered by lack of resources, by circumstances, or by time. It is hindered only by disbelief. Fear says, "What if I fail?" Faith says, "What if I succeed?" Fear imagines the worst and prepares for loss, while faith imagines the best and prepares for victory. The soil of the subconscious will grow whatever seed you sow, whether it is the seed of failure or the seed of success. The law does not argue, it does not resist, it simply magnifies what you feed it. That is why it is said, "According to your faith be it unto you." The scale is tipped not by outside conditions, but by inner conviction. Doubt has a peculiar way of disguising itself as reason. It tells you that you are only being realistic, that miracles are for others but not for you, that abundance requires struggle and sweat, that it cannot happen so quickly, so easily, so miraculously. Yet reason without faith is simply another mask of fear. The truth is, nothing is too difficult for the law of life. The same power that spins the planets and paints the sunrise is the power at work in your own subconscious. To doubt its ability to provide for you is to doubt the very fabric of creation. Consider the countless times people have expected failure and, unsurprisingly, received it. A person says, "I knew it would go wrong," and feels justified. Another says, "I never win anything," and so their ticket always loses. These are not predictions, they are decrees. Their words become commands, their expectation becomes law, and the subconscious fulfills them with precision. Yet imagine if those same individuals dared to reverse the decree, if they spoke instead, "I knew it would go right," or "I always win in life." The law would obey just as faithfully, and their experiences would mirror their new expectation. Doubt and fear only hold power because people choose to empower them. Shift your focus, and the entire current of life shifts with it. When you ask, "What if I fail?" your subconscious begins to prepare circumstances that reflect failure. When you ask, "What if I win?" your subconscious begins to prepare circumstances that reflect success. The question is not small. It is the seed of everything that follows. What you dwell upon before sleep, what you imagine upon waking, what you rehearse in your mind throughout the day. All of these are instructions given to the creative law within. It has no choice but to obey. Therefore, the discipline of your thought is the discipline of your destiny. Speak as though you have already won, for in truth you have. The moment you declare wealth, the moment you claim abundance, the moment you affirm miraculous provision, it is already done in the unseen. You are not waiting for it to happen. It has already happened, and you are merely awaiting its unveiling. To speak from a position of lack is to deny what has already been created. To speak from a position of victory is to align with what is already yours. The law responds to certainty. Just as a magnet does not struggle to attract metal, so certainty does not struggle to attract results. Feel as though it has already manifested. The subconscious responds most powerfully to emotion, for emotion is energy in motion. When you feel the joy of receiving, when you embody the gratitude of abundance, when you rest in the security of wealth, you impress the subconscious more deeply than with words alone. A single word spoken with conviction carries more power than 1,000 empty declarations. You may repeat affirmations without feeling and see little change, but when you speak once with deep emotion and faith, the law begins to rearrange circumstances immediately. That is why visualization before sleep is so potent. It allows you not only to imagine the scene but to feel it, to live it in advance, to make it real in your inner world so that the outer world must conform. Rest in the certainty that the morning will deliver proof of your word. Certainty is a posture, a resting place, a calm assurance that what has been spoken must come to pass. It does not fret, it does not beg, it does not worry. It simply knows. A child who asks a parent for a gift and hears the promise does not question whether it will be given. They rest joyfully, anticipating the surprise. So too must you approach the law of life, with childlike trust that what is promised is already yours. To waver is to delay, to rest in certainty is to accelerate. Think of the stories of those who stood firm in their declarations despite appearances. They refused to let doubt speak louder than faith. Though circumstances seemed unchanged, they continued to affirm abundance, to expect favor, to imagine victory. And then, suddenly, the breakthrough came. What appeared overnight was the fruit of unwavering faith. The harvest may seem delayed, but it is never denied to one who refuses to surrender to fear. Every moment of trust waters the seed, every declaration strengthens the root, every act of gratitude hastens the bloom. Fear, when entertained, multiplies. A single fearful thought, if left unchecked, grows into a web of anxiety, drawing to itself more reasons to fear. Faith, when cultivated, multiplies in the same way. A single declaration of abundance, if held firmly, attracts to itself evidence of abundance, growing stronger with each manifestation. The question is which path you will feed. You cannot hold both at once, for one cancels the other. If you choose fear, you forfeit your winnings. If you choose faith, you secure them. Let us return to the moment before sleep. You lie down at the close of day, and two voices call to you. One whispers of worry. What if nothing changes? What if tomorrow is the same? The other whispers of faith. What if everything changes? What if tomorrow brings miracles? Which voice you choose determines the outcome of the night. If you give your ear to fear, the subconscious magnifies fear. If you give your ear to faith, the subconscious magnifies faith. The law cannot choose for you, it only reflects what you impress upon it. This is why discipline of the inner life is the true mastery. It is not about fighting the outer world, but about conquering the inner one. When you refuse to allow doubt a foothold, when you silence fear with declarations of truth, when you insist upon expecting the best, you create a vibration so strong that no outside circumstance can resist it. Appearances may suggest lack, but you speak abundance. Situations may appear closed, but you declare open doors. Others may say it is impossible, but you affirm that with the divine all things are possible. And in time, the outer must yield to the inner, for the inner is the source and the outer is only the shadow. So the next time doubt attempts to steal your winning ticket, remember that it only has the power you grant it. The next time fear whispers of failure, remind yourself that fear is merely faith, turned upside down, belief in the wrong outcome. Redirect that belief, reframe that expectation, and the law will obey the new command. The harvest does not belong to those who fear, it belongs to those who stand unwavering in their word. Speak as though you have already received, feel as though it is already done, rest as though nothing could prevent it, and the morning will prove your declaration true. Gratitude is the golden key that unlocks the treasure. It is the language of abundance, the vibration that tells the universe, I already have, therefore I am ready for more. Many wait until the blessing appears to give thanks, but those who understand the law of life know that gratitude must come before the manifestation. Gratitude is not simply a reaction, it is a creative force. It prepares the soil of the subconscious to receive and multiplies whatever seed has been planted. When you give thanks in advance for wealth, opportunity, and prosperity, you magnetize those very conditions into your experience. Before sleep, gratitude is your most powerful ally. As you close your eyes, Reflect not on what is missing but on what is present. Even the smallest blessings, when acknowledged, grow larger. To say, I am thankful for this day. I am thankful for my breath. I am thankful for the unseen good already on its way, is to send out a vibration of fullness, and fullness attracts fullness. Lack can never be overcome by rehearsing what you do not have, but it dissolves the moment you shift your focus to appreciation. Gratitude transforms the vibration of the subconscious and aligns you with increase. Imagine yourself lying in bed at night. Instead of replaying the worries of the day, you begin to name every blessing. You give thanks for your body, for your breath, for the roof above you, for the opportunities of tomorrow. You give thanks not only for what has been but also for what is coming. You see yourself waking to unexpected wealth. You imagine the joy of receiving good news, and you whisper a word of gratitude as though it has already happened. In that moment, you bridge the gap between desire and manifestation. Your subconscious does not distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. It simply accepts gratitude as a signal that the thing is already yours. And once accepted, it must find expression. Gratitude carries with it a magnetic quality. It draws more of what you focus upon. If you are grateful for love, more love flows into your life. If you are grateful for abundance, more abundance comes. If you are grateful for opportunities, doors swing open. But if you dwell on complaints, you multiply reasons to complain. The law works both ways. You cannot reap a harvest of wealth while planting seeds of discontent. This is why it is said, to him who has, more shall be given. The one who acknowledges what they have, however small, invites the universe to expand it. Before sleep, gratitude is especially potent because it enters directly into the subconscious without resistance. As you drift into slumber, your final thoughts imprint deeply, and those thoughts guide the activity of the night. A grateful mind stamps the subconscious with the vibration of abundance, and abundance must then be reflected in the waking hours. The night becomes a rehearsal of thanksgiving, and the morning becomes the stage where the blessings appear. Visualize yourself already in possession of wealth. See yourself opening a letter with good news, receiving a message of unexpected funds, shaking hands on a new opportunity. As you hold that image, feel the gratitude rise within you as though it has already happened. That feeling is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is the energy that convinces the subconscious that the manifestation is already complete. The law then goes to work, aligning circumstances to match the gratitude you have expressed. Gratitude also dissolves fear and doubt. It is impossible to be truly grateful and fearful at the same time. Fear focuses on what might go wrong. Gratitude focuses on what is already right and what is unfolding perfectly. Fear shrinks your vision, gratitude expands it. Fear blocks the flow, gratitude opens it. When you fall asleep in gratitude, you close the door to fear and open the door to faith. Your subconscious, free of resistance, becomes a channel for miracles. There is a story of a woman who, every night before sleep, gave thanks for wealth though she had none in her possession. She would whisper, "Thank you for the abundance flowing into my life. Thank you for the riches already mine." In a short time, opportunities appeared, unexpected money arrived, and her circumstances shifted completely. Gratitude was the key. She did not wait for evidence to appear before she believed through gratitude, and the evidence followed. Gratitude is not bound by what the eyes can see. It looks beyond the visible and acknowledges the invisible supply that is always present. When you give thanks in advance, you are declaring trust in the unseen. You are saying, "I know it is already mine, though it has not yet appeared." This trust draws the unseen into form, just as surely as a magnet draws metal. Gratitude is faith clothed in joy. It is the celebration of a harvest that is already guaranteed. Practice gratitude as though it were a ritual before rest. Do not allow your last thoughts to be filled with worry, anger, or fear. Transform them into thankfulness. Thankfulness for what is, thankfulness for what has been, and thankfulness for what is coming. As you make this your nightly habit, you will begin to see the law of increase at work in your life. Blessings you once overlooked will multiply, opportunities you never considered will arise, and wealth will flow in ways that surprise and delight you. Think of gratitude as the golden oil that keeps the gears of life moving smoothly. Without it, the gears grind with resistance. With it, everything flows effortlessly. Gratitude removes the friction of doubt, of fear, of worry, and allows the law of life to work unhindered. It does not matter how small the beginning may seem. Gratitude multiplies it until it overflows. One coin blessed with gratitude can multiply into many. One opportunity acknowledged with thankfulness can open the door to countless others. There is also a spiritual mystery in gratitude. It aligns you with the highest law of harmony. It tells the universe that you are already in tune with abundance, already living in the vibration of wealth, already one with prosperity. The universe cannot resist this harmony. It must deliver conditions that match it. Gratitude is like a beacon shining into the unseen, signaling to the law of life. Here is one who is ready. Here is one who trusts. Here is one who believes. And the law responds without fail. As you lie down tonight, imagine yourself already holding the blessing you desire. See the check in your hand, the keys to the new home, the business flourishing, the joy of financial freedom. Then let gratitude fill your heart as though it were already here. Whisper your thanks into the silence, not as a plea but as a celebration. Let that feeling carry you into sleep. Through the night, your subconscious will magnify that vibration, and in the morning, you will rise to signs that your gratitude has already begun its work. Gratitude turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. It turns the unseen into the seen, the invisible into the visible, the desired into the experienced. It is the key that unlocks the vault of abundance, and it is always available to you. You need no ticket, no special knowledge, no outside permission. You need only a heart that dares to say, "Thank you." Before the evidence appears, the law of life cannot resist such a declaration, for it is the very language of creation. When you give thanks in advance, you align yourself with the flow of miracles, and miracles must come forth. The universe does not delay, it prepares. So often people think that manifestation is postponed, that life is keeping something from them, when in truth, the law is arranging every thread, every detail, every condition so that the good may come in its perfect form. In the same way, a gardener does not dig up seeds the next morning to see if they are growing. You must trust that once the word has been spoken and the seed has been planted, the universe is already working on your behalf. Preparation is not delay, it is divine orchestration. In 12 hours, while you sleep, forces you cannot see are aligning circumstances you could never plan. The phone call is being arranged, the letter is being written, the opportunity is being shaped. What seems like silence is in fact the hum of the universe, weaving together the fulfillment of your spoken word. Your part is not to control the how or the when, but to plant the seed with faith, and then allow the law to complete its work. Doubt digs up the seed before it can grow. Fear floods the soil with poison, but faith waters it, gratitude warms it, and expectancy shines upon it. When you go to sleep declaring that you are a magnet for sudden wealth, for divine surprises, for miraculous opportunities, you surrender the burden of making it happen. You release it into the subconscious, which then communicates with infinite intelligence. As you rest, the law goes to work tirelessly, never sleeping, never faltering, always fulfilling the command it has received. 12 hours may not seem like much to the conscious mind, but it is an eternity in the realm of spirit. In 12 hours, the vibration you have set in motion can shift your entire life. The subconscious never stops working. It replays the final words you spoke before rest, magnifying them, multiplying them, carrying them into the infinite to draw forth their equivalent. If your last declaration is one of defeat, "Nothing ever works for me, nothing ever changes," then that is what the subconscious labors to prove. But if your final declaration is one of victory, "I am rich, I am blessed, I am the winner of life's lottery," then the subconscious spends the night creating conditions to fulfill that decree. The law of life is exact. It does not return void. The vibration you send forth is always answered. When you declare wealth, wealth answers. When you declare lack, lack answers. This is why it is said that words are powerful, that they never die but continue to reproduce after their kind. A careless word spoken before sleep can sow weeds in the garden of your night, but a word of faith can plant an orchard of abundance. If you understood the creative power of your word, you would guard it more carefully than gold. The lottery of life is not about chance, it is about alignment. People think of winning as random, but in truth nothing is random. Everything is the result of vibration. When you vibrate at the frequency of wealth, opportunities that others call chance are drawn to you as if by magnet. What others think of as luck is law in operation. To the untrained eye, it appears as coincidence, but to the one who understands, it is simply the harvest of what has been spoken and believed. And the most fertile time to plant that vibration is in the hours before sleep, when the conscious mind surrenders and the subconscious accepts without resistance. Many live their lives waiting, but the law does not ask you to wait. It asks you to prepare. Preparation is faith in action. When you declare, "Tonight I win my lottery of life," you begin to prepare as if it were true. You align your thoughts, your feelings, and your expectations with the outcome. You sleep not with worry but with certainty, not with doubt but with joy. That preparation creates the space for the universe to fill. A vessel that is empty and expectant will always be filled. One that is cluttered with fear, worry, and disbelief has no room for blessings. The night is sacred because it is a time of surrender. It is when you hand over the reins and trust a power greater than yourself to bring about what you desire in ways you could not orchestrate. You may think it must come through one channel, but the universe has 1,000. You may imagine only one opportunity, but infinite intelligence holds endless possibilities. When you release your word before sleep and rest in faith, you give the law permission to use whatever channels it chooses. The result often appears miraculous, not because the law has broken its order, but because it has fulfilled it in ways far beyond the narrow vision of the human mind. It is not your work to toil through the night. Your work is to declare and to rest. Rest itself is an act of faith. It is saying, "I have done my part. Now I allow the universe to do its part." Just as a farmer does not stand in the field at midnight demanding that the seeds sprout immediately, so you must let your word germinate in silence. And just as surely as the dawn follows the night, so the harvest follows the declaration. It cannot be otherwise. 12 hours is more than enough for life to shift. The subconscious does not need months or years. It only needs a command spoken in faith. Some have gone to sleep in poverty and awakened to opportunity. Some have gone to sleep in despair and awakened with an idea that changed everything. Some have gone to sleep with nothing in their hands and awakened with more than they imagined. The shift happens when faith and word align, and gratitude seals it. Speak it before sleep. I am a magnet for sudden wealth, divine surprises, and endless opportunities tonight. I win my lottery of life. Say it not with strain but with certainty, as though you are merely acknowledging what is already written for you. The universe loves certainty. It loves a mind that does not waver, a heart that does not tremble, a word that does not contradict itself. Certainty is the mark of faith, and faith is always rewarded. As you release the word, feel the joy of it already being done. Imagine yourself waking to a new reality, to signs of increase, to doors swinging open. That feeling carries the vibration of fulfillment. It impresses the subconscious with the truth that the manifestation is complete. The law then takes that vibration and projects it outward, attracting people, circumstances, and events to mirror it back to you. The morning does not create the miracle, it reveals what the night has already set in motion. There is no such thing as delay when it comes to the law. Delay exists only in the mind that doubts. To the law, everything is now. What you call waiting is simply the preparation of conditions. The supply is already there. The abundance is already there. The opportunity is already there. Gratitude and faith tune you into it. When you sleep in expectancy, you wake in manifestation. The 12 hours between are not empty. They are alive with unseen activity. And so the invitation is simple: plant your word before sleep, release it with gratitude, rest with faith, and rise with expectancy. The universe does not delay, it prepares. What you declare tonight sets the tone for the morning. Your subconscious is the fertile field, your word is the seed, your gratitude is the water, your faith is the sunlight. Together, they guarantee the harvest, and the harvest is certain. Tonight, you plant. In the morning, you receive.